Sometimes life can knock you off the ground, but surprisingly, an encouraging word can hoist you back to your feet. What we all need is someone in our corner. Someone like Dr. Tongie.
Hi, I have 3 questions for you. 1, have you discovered your purpose? 2, have you discovered your ability? And 3, are you planning your life's path?
Dr. Tongie has inspired audiences on radio stations throughout the US and in the Caribbean on KISS FM with the Dr. Tongie Show. Now, sister station Hot 7 TV teams up with KISS FM to bring the Dr. Tongie Show to television.
I will share my wealth of experience, my affinity to life, and assist you in fulfilling your call. By tuning in to the Dr. Tongie Show on Hot 7 TV and KISS FM, you and I will begin to explore the answers to these questions and many more. And in these challenging times, it's just what the doctor ordered. The Dr. Tongie Show comes to Hot 7 TV on the 4th of February.
The class of music radio, KISS 105 FM. Hey, time!
What's that, Nick?
You already know what time it is. It's time for the Dr. Tongie Show.
Your grace and mercies brought me.
Hey, good morning, and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Dr. Tongie Show, and I'm your girl, Dr. Tongie, and we're broadcasting live from the beautiful country of St. Lucia in the Caribbean. Thank you to everyone who supports this show. Thank you, Facebook. Hello. Thank you, Instagram. I love you so much. Thank you, St. Lucia, for just showing up. You know, I feel like I'm loved, so if y'all playing with me, it's just too late because I don't bother in, I don't drink the Kool-Aid. Thank you to everyone who makes this show possible Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on KISS FM 105.9 and the visual portion on Hot 7 TV. Thank you. I am grateful, eternally grateful. And you know, when someone is good to you, man, and they let you come in their kingdom, you know it's their kingdom because they just know what they're doing. You guys know him as Marlon. I know him as my gentle giant, and that's the truth, Ruth. Good morning, man. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Tongie. It's a wonderful day today. I feel real good.
Yeah.
We've got some wonderful weather. I love the rain.
I know, right?
And, it's the weekend. So
It's
there's
the
something
weekend.
about the weekend that just gets you excited.
No, it does. It really does. But sometimes I get sad on the weekends because it's like I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And I need to be doing something with these hands, man.
That's the best part for me. Sometimes
Is it
I'm
right?
like, oh, I'm not going to do anything.
I'll take that. I'll take that. You know, we're still in International Women's Month, and it's coming to a close next Friday, but to everyone, every woman who ever had a dream, who ever believed that she could do exactly what she put her mind to, for those who said, oh my God, what am I doing? This dream, this vision is bigger than me. That was the great place to be in. I say thank you and I salute you. I honor you. I love you so very much because I get to stand on the shoulders of some very courageous and some wise women. So, with that said, I mentioned this guy on Wednesday, right? He comes and he picks me up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and he gives me an experience on the beach. And we got up this morning about 5 o'clock to go and have that experience, but my friend couldn't walk with me. He tried it. I'm telling you, business dude. He tried it, but he couldn't finish it. But I am truly grateful to you, Carlton. Carlton is on Instagram at Carlton758. You know, if you just want to go walking on the beach at 5 o'clock in the morning, he's your guy. So check him out and tell him Dr. Tongie sent you. And to Miss Ava, we're going to get into the show, I promise you, but I've got to say this because I'll forget it. Miss Ava, I've looked for your phone number in my 470-534-2216 number. I can't find it. I really cannot. So would you call me after the show, Miss Ava? You know what you did on the other day. All right. What is this show about? This show is about encouraging you. It's about motivating you. It's about inspiring you. It's about holding you accountable. Because once you know your purpose, you got to walk in that thing. You really, really do. It's about you being committed to you and to him. All right? The show is founded on kingdom principles. We've been doing this now for a little over, I better not tell how many years, because you're going to see that I'm a little older than I look. No, I'm joshing. We've been doing this since 2017. We haven't changed the format because it works. It's founded on kingdom principles. Now, a kingdom, as it relates to God's domain, it's his invisible government. It's an actual country ruled by a king, the king, who influences it and impacts it by his personal values, his morality, his lifestyle, and his entire principles and laws. And because he's so good to us, he gave us a domain called Earth. And we're supposed to make certain that what's going on in heaven goes on the earth. When you think about principle, I want you to think about the original intent of something. And in this case, it's God's law. It's God's rules for conducting our lives is what I'm talking on. Now, someone said, well, what can I expect from your show? I'm so glad you asked. I formulated this system called the HOS system. It's honesty, openness, and sincerity. Did it back in 1994 when I launched my very first business in 95, and it works because this show is a place for you to grow, and it's for you to have actionable goals, and it's for business people who need to be empowered in their business. And I believe everybody in the world has a business. I just do. I really, really do. God has a business for us. It's called the people business, so we should be in the same business, right? Now, because I'm like plastered on social media now, I'm having to learn all of this stuff. Oh my gosh. So, at Dr. Tongie Show is my handle for YouTube and Twitter and TikTok. I am dancing on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So if you get a moment, just drop a line or two at Dr. Tongie Show. Let me know that you're watching, like Miss Deborah Guin and Miss Bobby Jean Toms and China Toms, thank you Twink, and Wanda Turner, and just Miss Barbara. A lot of folk that really take time out of their busy schedules to tune in, and I am so eternally grateful for that. So I never ever want you to think I'm taking that for granted or lightly. After this really quick break, we're going to get into part 2 on giving, and it states that it is important for you to give on every occasion. And I learned this, that God is trying to give you something when you're giving. Oops, I forgot. Tori Powell and Kia and Rod and Sheldon. Mwah! Thank you so very much for your continued support. Now, right after this, we're going to get into part 2.
Your grace and mercies brought me over. I'm out my way now, let you take over. Try to fight it, just drew me closer. I can't go back, the door to close up. You're my Jehovah, God DC. Don't need no one else, 'cause you complete me. Can't speak discreetly, so I sing your praise. And it's much clearer now, 'cause you remove my hate. His grace so merciful.
There I go. I was just dancing. I was just having a good time, and I was looking at my periphery to see his face or to see the thumbs up. Thank you, gentle giant. Now, I am really, really excited because we're going to do a really quick recap. If you missed any of this show on part 1, it's on Facebook at Dr. Tongie Show, and I'd love for you to check it out so that it'll make sense to you. All right. On Wednesday, we started talking about the giving on every occasion. And I told you that God was truly trying to give you something, but you got to do your part. Now, for my Bible scholars, our Constitution, that passage is Matthew 6:38. So read that, and I'm sure you already know it, okay? But just become familiar with that passage if you have not, and you'll start to see how those principles really do line up in your life. So I told you that I was growing up in the projects of Mississippi, and we would go to church. My mom would take us to church in Alabama, and they would have this particular song about you can't beat God's giving no matter how hard you try. The more you give to him, the more he gives to you. The more you give, the more he gives to you. And then it would say, just keep on giving because you know it's true. And I still get excited about that song, man. It was just something as a child, 6 years old, and being introduced to him. And I grew to love him so very much that I trust him in everything. So as I became a parent, of course, I told my children, you always have something to give. Ty, Tryon, Morgan, you always have something to give. If you go into someone's castle, their home, you give respect, you give honor, you give a flower, you give a prayer, but you take something to give. And now I get to teach it to my grandbabies. Hey, Caden and Kendrick and Idris. And they understand the purpose of giving, so much so that they've got a little, well, not a little, but they've got a book publishing company called KINDOM Publishing, and in that book publishing company that I set up for them a few years ago, I have a mission that says we give people stories, we make them come alive. So they're all about giving, even at the ages of 8, 5, and a year old. So with that said, I want to challenge what you know about giving. Because whether you, and I said this on Wednesday, whether you are having a mountaintop experience and you're living real good and you're eating good and you're paying your bills and everything is just going good, right? It's easy to give when you got it like that, right? But what happens when you start to have a valley experience? And we all have those, because with life, you got ebbs and flows. What happens when the kids are sick, you don't really feel your best, your significant other is just about to lose his or her mind, acting like they got temporary amnesia? How hard is it to literally give then? So, I told you that in our Constitution, it was Luke 6:38 that tells us about giving. And I also mentioned that there was a time, once upon a time, when I ain't know no better, okay? I would hear the preacher say, give, 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 you gotta give. God loves a cheerful giver. And I would always say, well, he can say that because he got all the money. Ouch. Stinking thinking, kid you not. I know better now, so don't judge me. And I was like, well, it's easy for him to say it because he has it, but what about me? I really ain't got it to give. That's what I call stinking thinking, because I just told you on every occasion you got something to give. It ain't nothing but a prayer or a smile. You got something to give. It doesn't always have to be something tangible, but when you do have something tangible, it's okay to give. And I really do mean that. There's a secret to giving. And the secret is the principles that go along with giving have keys, and it's written. It is nothing that I made up. It's written there. When you give, he does something, and he does it so well. So I told you that one of the principles I really want you to be mindful of is that when you give, God promises that it shall be given. Here's the word, unto you. The word unto you, in its original intent of the word, is something was done or given to someone. The key here is to accept the truth. God has already done it. Settle that in your soul, in your spirit, as my grandmama would say, in my sanctified soul. Settle that thing, because everything has already been done. God ain't doing nothing new. He just brings us into the realization with revelation of what is new, or what we deem to be new. You do know that he made the end before he made the beginning and put us in time and space. So let's settle that. That has already been done. The second principle that I want to recap is that there is a good measure to your giving. There is a good measure to your giving. Good measure simply means in addition to. In addition to what you gave, he gives too. The size, the capacity, and the quantity won't be like you gave it. It'll be more. It just works that way. Seriously, it does. The key to that is to give and watch him give you more by having someone give to you more than what you gave. Selah. The third principle, this is a recap for those who say, you know, Dr. Tongie, I'm just not going to go back on Wednesday and look at it. I'm not. So you might as well just go and give it to me. Absolutely, I'll do that. But for those who want it, they'll go back and listen. All right? The third principle I'm recapping is your giving has what's called the press down effect. What you talking, Dr. Tongie? All right. In the original intent of the word, this means to load you up liberally. You get that? He causes you to shift in a new position when you give. Think about this thing, right? You give, let's just say you give, you say, you know what, I feel generous and I want to give $10. Okay, we'll just use $10. You got an extra 40, you want to give 10. To whatever cause. Because your heart is right, okay, and you are practicing this law, it has to work in your favor. He'll cause this press down effect. He'll cause people to give so much to you that 10 that you gave becomes 100,000, that 100,000 becomes 1,000,000, that 1,000,000 becomes, because that's the way he does it. His multiplication just don't make sense. It really does not. And I know what I'm talking about because he's done it for me over and over and over. When you give and not expect anything in return, you don't have to even expect anything in return because this law works. It works. It works for the believer. It works for the unbeliever. So just get in a position of giving. Now, this is where we're going to pick up today, and then we're going to open up the phone lines. 470-534-2216. If you're saying, hey, chick, I want to get with you after the show. And if you want to talk during the show and make your contribution, it's 450-0477. Yes? 0477. Hello. 0477, right?
That's the WhatsApp number 45. I was in a different world right now. Thank you very much. 450-5477. 450-5477.
5477, not zero.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
450-5477.
I don't know why I picked with him. I just love him so. Maybe because he turned the music off and I was dancing. Thank you, dear. All right.
What's up?
Here's where we're picking up at. Principle number 4. Your giving is shaken together. And what does that mean? It means that more than the quantity assigned to your giving, beyond a limit that is just incomprehensible. It works. I promise you it does. So the key here is to expect what you have given. God has already caused it to be beyond the limit of what you gave. See, there's something, like I said, it's something about our daddy's multiplication. It just doesn't make sense in the natural. But because we live in the spirit, right, we can understand those things that are spiritual, right? of course. Principle number 5, I'm almost done, and you're going to call in and make your contribution, right? Principle number 5 is your giving is running over. Now, what does running over look like? It looks like to overflow, to spill over, and excessiveness. Meaning you got so much from your giving that it's just mind-boggling. That's how he does it. The key here is to expect God to have already caused your increase, your overflow, even when you do not see it. It's a faith thing. Remember, he said, them that worship me must worship me in truth, right? And in spirit. See, when we live this thing called faith, we just be walking by faith. We don't necessarily have to see it. We know it to be true. No matter how it feels, no matter what it looked like. There is something that readily has to happen in your life. And you know it to be true, even if you don't see it. Principle number 6, this is giving on every occasion. Your giving causes people to give. Here's the word, into. Remember, we did unto. Now we're doing into your bosom. Here the word into means involved with, interested in. It also means to create, to bring, to generate, to do. Oh boy, to produce. You get this? I'm literally getting excited here because your giving, my giving, causes all of these principles to happen in our lives. So give on every occasion. And I really do mean this. The key here is, where am I? Okay, sorry about that. Now, people will hear about what you're doing. People will see what you're doing. And God causes them to act on your behalf. See, when you're giving like that, when people give into your bosom, all right? Not unto, but into. The effect is people will see it, they'll hear about it, they'll do something to help you do exactly what it is that you're supposed to do. The key here is that there will be people, they're going to do it honestly. They'll get involved with or become interested in what you're doing. But you must give in order for this to happen. It's not going to happen by you wishing that you are giving. I told you what you can give. You can give a prayer. You can give a smile. You just, it doesn't have to always be tangible in your giving. But remember this. This passage goes on a little bit and it says the way you judge, which is the Greek word for krema, K-R-I-M. It refers to a verdict, a decree, or a decision. It is how you will be judged. Ouch, but it's written. And by your standard of measure, it will be measured. That simply means that it'll be distributed as a share, okay, to you. To give liberally in your giving, because God has already given liberally back to you, because it's His law, and that's how He works. He's a law-keeping God. 470-534-2216 is this number. Ava, if you're listening. And 450-5477 is our WhatsApp and studio number. We'd love to hear from you. Or you can feel free to call us, because we had a phone call the other day. We got one now. Good morning. You're on there with Dr. Tongie and Marlon. How are you? How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning. Dr. Tongie, and how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Who are we speaking to this morning? Tell me why you love this topic.
What is the truth about giving?
Yes.
And from my point of view, when you give, especially you give selflessly,
Yes.
you're always happy.
Okay. You're right.
I remember my business mom always told us, give,
Mm-hmm.
but don't expect anything in return.
Okay. Okay. You're absolutely right. Yes, ma'am. I do. I do hear you.
And because of that, oh my God,
Oh my goodness, you're giving me chill bumps here because you know how it works. You really do. Wow. Yes. Yep. Yep.
I just love these people.
You got my vote, lady. You really do. Would you mind telling us who we're talking to? What's your name?
No, I said I can never put.
Oh. Oh. Okay. No worries. No worries. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yep. Yep. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yes. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You have it, and the person is in need of it, and you don't give it. I wonder how you feel afterwards.
Absolutely. You are absolutely right. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye. Oh, wow. That just blesses me. Yeah.
I believe this was you asked, but she didn't hear. I think this was Lena.
Lena.
Okay.
Thank you so very much for that.
All right, we've got a message here, but I think we're getting another call, so let's
right.
go to that call first.
Good morning, you're on there with Dr. Tongie and Marlon. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Tongie.
Good morning. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
Miss Barbara, I love you. What's your contribution? She's a giver. She's definitely a giver. Yes. Amen. Amen.
I remember I said not so long ago, I had a bed my daughter, and somebody wanted, and I gave it to her. And you know, because I kept on getting right, about my salary.
Yeah.
Yes, I just,
Wow.
I said, don't you want? I said, yes. Like, I got right.
Oh, wow.
Oh, $5. You know, I want to give God all the time and the praises.
Amen. Yes, ma'am.
I have that. I can wait for fear. Be filled with the Holy Spirit day by day.
Wow. Wow. Yes, ma'am. Oh, wow. Thank you, my lovely. I love you to the moon and the stars.
I wanted to mention that, and I think I mentioned on Wednesday. It's more than just it's a feeling that you get, and I didn't get to mention, but there's one time. It might sound like a bad guy, but then there was one time, I passed this lady downtown, and she's stretched, and she's like asking for $1, and I kind of just passed straight, And before I circled, before I passed the other corner, I felt like, oh, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
Circled the building, and I got back to her, and I gave her $2, right? I gave her some change in my pocket.
For sure.
But it's a feeling that you get, and I felt better. I felt really good after that, but just after I passed, I felt real bad. Real bad. I'm giving it to I'm like, no, I'm not going to trade and go back and give it to her. I'm going to just go right around.
Yeah. So you thought.
So maybe someone's watching and he probably said that Marlon didn't have any change, so he went to get some and then he dropped it. But I felt real good after that.
For sure you did. That was an assignment for you.
Yes,
Think about it like that. Wow.
All right, let's see, just a message here says, good morning, Dr. Tongie and Marlon. Fantastic Friday to you. Sometimes in life, some people wonder why things are not working out for them. And I think many a times it's because we are not generous people. We hoard our blessings and we want more and more. We are never satisfied. When we are generous, it attracts blessings. I think that's why God created us with two hands. One to give and one to receive. However, we have some people, all they want to do is receive and not give anything in return. I'm not saying that we have to give to receive, but sometimes the people we give to can't even give back. But should we stop giving? Not at all. It can't work that way. However, we must remember we are blessed to be a blessing to others. And if we become stingy people, I read this once again. And if we become stingy people, how then can the blessings flow? Also, we need to be mindful as to how we give. If we give grudgingly or just for getting praise, that motive will definitely block our blessings. We need to give genuinely, and giving should be seasonal. We shouldn't want to be generous. We shouldn't want to be generous every day of our lives, as being generous is broad. It's just money or material stuff. There are people all around us who need a helping hand in various ways. Then when we begin to bless others, we sometimes ignite a fire in others to be a blessing.
You better believe it.
All right.
Wow.
Yes.
Maggie, yeah?
Yes.
And you're absolutely right, because it follows the law. It follows those principles. It is built in. It's like gravity. It's like if I get on a 10-story building and I jump off. God doesn't have to kill me. The law will, because in that law of gravity, you already know what's going to happen. Anything that goes up comes down. So it's built in the law. It's the law. He's a law-keeping God. So try that thing out for size this weekend and just monitor your giving. Give a smile, and even if you're not feeling your best, just muster up enough strength, right?
And if you don't give the first time, go around that building.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm your girl, Dr. Tongie. I'm with the gentle giant Marlin. Thank you so much for making my dreams come true. I love you. I love you. I love you. I really do love you, to the moon and the stars and back again. The Lord say the same, and the creek don't rise. We're going to do this thing once again on Monday, right here, same time, same station. Be good to yourselves, please, okay? All right? Do that for me? All right. See you soon. I love you. Bye.
Sometimes life can knock you off the ground, but surprisingly, an encouraging word can hoist you back to your feet. What we all need is someone in our corner, someone like Dr. Tongie.
Hi. I have 3 questions for you. 1, have you discovered your purpose? 2, have you discovered your ability? And 3, are you planning your life's path?
Dr. Tongie has inspired audiences on radio stations throughout the U.S. and in the Caribbean on KISS FM with the Dr. Tongie Show. Now, sister station Hot 7 TV teams up with KISS FM to bring the Dr. Tongie Show to television.
I will share my wealth of experience, my affinity to life, and assist you in fulfilling your call. By tuning in to the Dr. Tongie Show on Hot 7 TV and KISS FM, you and I will begin to explore the answers to these questions and many more. And in these challenging times, it's just what the doctor ordered. The Dr. Tongie Show comes to Hot 7 TV on the 4th of February.